Peace, peace, peace. What's up, y'all? Wait for Ty to jump on here. I guess I'm simulcasting right now on YouTube. So we trying this out for the first time. See how this work out. You know what I mean? What up, Jug 410? Appreciate you for tapping in. Just waiting for Mr. Ty Mills to get himself on board. I see you, Red Bean Team, Pachanga Poppy. You dig? SKH I1, I guess Ski 1, huh? What's going on, Champ Never Lacking? Thanks for joining us. Peace to you, Pachanga. AJ89 Strive, I see you. Thanks for joining us here, man. Westside Donnie 78, man. Peace, man. Thanks for joining us here on the We Poppin' Son Talk Show. I'm trying this YouTube thing. You know what I mean? Pretty sure I got it figured out here. What's up? Where the hell's Ty? Ty must be in transit or something, man. So it's a lot going on, man. Oh, there you go. There you go. Can you give us a story about Power, Oliver Grant, bro? Oh, man. Man, yesterday was hard. It was a hard day, man. You know, let me bring Ty in here. Oh, wait. No, that's not Ty. Where the hell's Ty? Where you at, Ty? Oh, there you go. For those of you who don't know, Ali Grant, a.k.a. Power, is one of the founders of the Wu-Tang. He executive produced all of the songs, all of the music. He was the founding financier of it, you know. He didn't want to put up the bread. And he was not just money, he was mind. What up? What's going on, Kev? Kev Richardson. That's my man, Kev Richardson Photography. One of the best photographers in New York City, man. I met Kev on my way to Cancun. Met him in Cancun, man, like 30 years ago, man. What's up, Kev? Me and Kev been tight ever since. So Ali, or Power as people knew him, I used to call him the Woo Glue. He's the one that made them do Woo Wear before Sean John, before Rockaware, before State Property, before any of that. It was Woo Wear first. And that was the brainchild of Power, man, Ali Grant. Ali passed, I guess, about maybe Monday or so. I was apprised of it Tuesday. So maybe Monday, it may have happened Monday. And he was 52 years old, and he died of autoimmune disease, which he had been battling with for a little while. And that's when your immune system attacks you. You know, there you go. What's happening? I'm live on YouTube, bro.
Yeah, you doubled up on them.
Yeah, man. We got, you know what I'm saying? We got to push it, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm doing this at the same time on YouTube.
I gotta get me another phone.
Yeah, or get a damn laptop. You know what I mean? Or what you call it? I mean, shit, you can get a decent laptop now. It's crazy. You can get a decent laptop now for a couple $100. That's crazy. My first laptop was like $3,500, $3,800. And so Ali was really the mastermind, you know. Without Ali, I don't see there being a Wu-Tang. And again, Power. That's what everybody called him, Power. But man, he was a visionary. You know, we would hang out at different spots, different clubs, we'd connect. And he, you know, his conversation, man, was so elevated, bro. It's not common to, and y'all know this, like everybody,
Peace, God.
You did. Peace of gods, man. Peace of gods and earth, man. Ali was the shit. Ali, you know, a lot of people, Ali was born in Jamaica. He was born in Jamaica, Yard, my name. And he grew up in Staten Island. And he was a visionary, a true visionary. You know, he wasn't made up and contrived like a lot of cats are, where they have this. It's easy to fool people that don't know shit, bro. Like, if you show up on your screen with a bunch of fancy shit, jewelry and clothes and the car, whatever, people don't have to know where you came from, what your come up was, and none of that. You start talking, they just start listening, and that's dumb. It's dumb. It's dumb as fuck, you know. But Ali is one of the guys that came from an era where that wouldn't work. That wouldn't work at all, you know. Like you had to actually, your work had to speak for you. You had to actually be doing something in order for you to be able to, get a a name and a rep that people are gonna respect. You know, when you walk up to a door at a spot and people, look at you and be like, "Oh, I know who you are," and move that rope and fuck a line and all of that. Like he
Yeah.
came from that, and that, that's why we connected like we did, because he watched me grind and bust my ass, man. Building Don Diva. He watched me be everywhere. You know, just doing what I got to do, being humble, and putting my brand out there and really working that thing. And that's what he was on. He was making moves, man. He was making moves. Ali knew how to connect with all kinds of people.
I was just saying how like in the Source Awards, after the awards, people come down there on like a Thursday, they stay down there for the awards. Sunday, by Sunday night, Monday morning, niggas getting up out of there. But the niggas who down there, they really got business and this is their real life. They there 2, 3 weeks, a month
Right,
after, and we was down there. We were
right.
running the power all the time. He'd be like, "Wait,
That's
little
right.
Mario, what you doing? Where your
That's
pops
right.
at?" And they was just
That's right.
always
That's a
love.
fact. That's right. That's right. You're right. Like shit, niggas be gone by that Monday morning, that Monday night, or that following Tuesday, because sometimes on flights getting out of there, it was crazy for niggas, but we was on the road in the van, so we'd be there for 2 weeks after, you know, building on all those connections we made over the weekend. We didn't
Hmm.
just come there to shake our ass and be seen. It wasn't like that. And Ali was on it like that, man. That's why he made the kind of moves he did. And what's crazy? He's really about the moves because a lot of people didn't see him. If you weren't a person who was in the move, in like making moves and in the mix, you didn't see him, and you didn't even know him. Like when people saw him in black and white
Really?
or belly first, right? That's when a lot of people who were not industry people first saw him, but they didn't know this is, the woo glue. I used to call him the woo glue. They didn't know that he was behind that woo movement. They
Hmm.
just thought he was just this real cool, convincing dude. It was like, damn, this actor is really good at acting like this street person. But he wasn't acting. He wasn't acting. That was him. That was really him. That's his get down.
Yeah.
And black and white, which again, that's him. That's Ali. Or Ali. His name is Oliver. Um, so he was behind that as well, and look how many careers came out of that. And look at the people. I mean, he had Robert Downey Jr. in there, and Robert Downey had been around, Less
Hmm.
Than Zero and all that, whatever. Like Robert Downey had been around, but he was also like down. He wasn't good. He was a young actor who'd gotten on, whatever, but then he started having drug problems.
Yeah.
He was really washed out. Oliver gave him another shot, and he got in there and went crazy with it. Like he even made Mike. Like Mike really snatched him up because he really played with Mike on that set just to get the reaction. You know what I'm saying? Mike almost killed him. He almost beat him to death on the set for real.
I remember
You
that
know?
scene.
But a lot of people don't know about black and white. If you haven't seen black and white, man, you gotta check black and white out. Like
Man,
there was nothing like black and white when that movie came
yeah.
out. And it's really about black people and white people and the clashing of the cultures and all of that. A lot of people got put on. That was '98. A lot of people got put on to our underground street. Like I've always said, the industry has always emulated in the street niggas. right? So the way the hustlers dressed and all of that, our attitudes, that's what rappers emulated. And fashion, especially because fashion, you could do fashion without having to carry all the other energy that come along with the people whom you're imitating. You know, the toughness, the danger, and all that kind of stuff. And so in that movie, he was busting out all type shit. You know, the whole Coogee fit. You know what I mean? Pants and the vest and the hat and the Abrix joints, you know, the Abrix jackets and shit like that. Like he was doing the things that we had been doing since the 80s, you know, and that movie was one of those movies that it really was, it crossed over,
Hmm.
you know. And so a lot of people outside of our culture got to see what the inner city urban swag was really like, you know. And he was doing things that a lot of people, even from the hood, weren't able to do and wanted to do, always wanted to do, you know. They weren't able to do it when we was doing that shit. We was rocking Avrix. And when I say we, I mean a handful of niggas was rocking Avrix jackets and, you know, 83, 84, 85, you know, Pele's and all that. Like a handful, bro. Don't let niggas fool you. A handful. When I'm talking about out of, you know, a million niggas, maybe, you know, 1,500. Like for real. Niggas was not spending three, five, nah. Them shits was like 400, 500 back then. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? For the Avis jackets. And, you know, by 88, 89, we was all in North Beach. You know. So and I say we all, I mean, still even a smaller group of motherfuckers, because that back then you talking about 900, 1,000, $1,100 for a jacket, for a leather jacket. You know, so a lot of people weren't able to do it then. You know, and industry blew up, whatever, whatever, and a lot of those cats that grew up as fans of our fashion, our style, they tapped in, you know, to that rap money, whatever, whatever, and the first thing they want to do is dress like street niggas. Just like the street niggas they grew up under. You know, and that's Cam, that's Jimmy, that's all, you know. And, you know, Ali, he was really fashion catalyst for like the urban fashion. Like you could say he pioneered that transition of making urban fashion into like contemporary urban fashion, you know, the urban, because there's a different urban fashion. There's an urban fashion from the time that I was raised by, which was very, very high end and very, very expensive.
Hmm.
And then there's you know, the common level urban fashion where it's just kids wearing bubble jackets and baggy pants and that
Carl
kind of
Kanai,
thing,
Maurice Malone.
that type of shit, you know? And he is one that really took that shit mainstream and had people who were not us, people in Japan and people in
Oh yeah.
Amsterdam, people in the UK dressing like us because the Wu worldwide. So, you know, a lot of people who were not from our environments started to assimilate with our fashion sense. And Ali Grant, aka Power, was one of the forefathers and the forerunners of that. Don't sleep, for real, for real. Man, it's like I'm having a hard time talking about him, but you know, I want to give him his praise. I want to give him his props and his posthumous flowers. Everybody loved and respected Ali. You know, everybody, man. And you know, we had some great conversations, man. Our building sessions, as you might imagine, man. Like the way he behaved on camera, that was him. That was
No, I
him.
remember when they
No
was shooting
acting.
They was shooting the Triumph video, and we was out there for 2 days, three
No,
days
that's
in the
not the
damn
Triumph. That
van.
wasn't Triumph. That was pink, pink something, pink something pink, something pink. Cause I posted a picture from that. A picture I took of him, Master Killer, and Ray.
That was
He
the
took a
Triumph
bunch of
video
pictures.
too, because it was they had all. Remember they was all shooting their different scenes in all the different rooms. They
Yeah,
shot a
that was
couple
that video.
videos.
That was that video. That was that
Oh,
that that. I thought it was Triumph too, but this was because Jay Jessis, he shot that. He directed that, and
oh,
it was in 2000 and I believe 2002. Yeah, and I just posted a picture from that set. We took a lot of. I think that was the. I got a picture of me and the entire Wu. The only person that's
yeah,
missing is Old Dirty because he
yeah,
was locked up. He's the
yeah.
only person that's missing. Everybody was there.
That
Brooklyn.
whole, yeah.
Yeah, we were in Brooklyn. That set was wild.
Yeah,
That was
you
wild.
left us in the car for man. You left us in the car. We was in the car for at least 6, 7 hours. Then it was like, all right, nigga, like,
Yo, bro. It was crazy. But don't get it wasn't a car, y'all. It was the Don Diva van. The Don Diva van was a conversion van.
yeah. There's a van,
It had
TV. We could
beds
lay
in it,
down. We was good,
and
but
it had bed in it. It had captain chairs, you recline out, TV, VHS, music, like it had everything with a bathroom in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, that's how it was. That was the grind. That was the grind. And the the set was so crazy because it was this giant warehouse in Brooklyn. And I always wondered if it's the same warehouse that Buster and Missy and them were in when Israel got killed.
mm,
I always wondered if it's the same place. I know it's a lot of those places out there, but yeah, that set was so crazy. Meth, I'll never forget, man. Meth, he was on the bus, right? And I don't know what he was on. I think he might have been on ecstasy or something like that. But Nick, I don't know what happened, but he couldn't. I guess wanted to do his part, shoot his part, and I guess he was anticipating he'd be able to shoot it at some point, and it was like they delayed him or whatever. Dog, he started boo-hooing and basically having a tantrum like a little kid. And me and Riz was like, "What the is wrong with you, dude?" And he was crying like, "No, man, this ain't fair." He was literally crying. I was like, "Yo, he's on something. He's definitely on something." He probably gonna be like, "Yo, that's some fucked up shit." You tell her that stuff. But yeah, man, without Oliver, bro, there's so much. There would be a huge hole in the culture without Oliver Grant's contributions. Shout out to Oliver Power Grant, Staten Island, his finest, man, the son of Jamaica, man. Wu Tang forever, you know what I mean? Like, he was really the thing, man, and he never wanted to put himself in the forefront like that because he could have been, you know, Diddy size. He could have been, Jay-Z size, like, but he played his part, kind of remind me of Jeff Dixon.
hmm
Like, huge impact, very small footprint. You dig? Like, if you didn't know who he was, there's a lot of people who are now first really like this is their first time hearing about him. You know, in the midst of all of the posts and the people who are posting and the people who are commenting on the post about his passing. And he was only 52 years old, bro. He was only 52, bro. But I'm glad to have made his acquaintance, to been able to, build with him and be able to call him my brother and my friend. And it truly is a dimmer place, bro. Without him, the world is a little less light.
because he ain't in it. And I'm really serious. Like for real. He was that kind of an impactful human being. He was a very unique human being. Truly was. And there's going to be something, I guarantee you, and we will be there. There's going to be something huge done in his honor. I guarantee that. I guarantee that because he warrants it. He definitely warrants it. There are a few people who will have lived as few years as he's lived and have the degree of impact that he's had and still be so obscure to most people. You may not have seen his face, but you've definitely felt his presence, and you will be feeling his presence for untold time to come, man. For real. And shout out to Power, man. For real, man. Love, man. But as he would say, if he was if he was here, in fact, he's probably on my show right now, like, all right, niggas die, niggas. It is what it is, nigga. I did what I came to do. I'm good, son. I'm good, Lord. That's it. I'm good, Lord. Ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing. Oh, yeah, man. That's what's up, man. I'm glad that I got to know him, you know. I was looking at my wife was showing me something earlier, and this happened like last month. There's a brother named Julian Bailey, father of three, husband, beloved brother out of DC, and he was killed by U.S. Marshals. And they playing all kinds of games, bro. They're not giving these people, the U.S. Marshals, on some like, oh, we don't comment on, ongoing investigations, playing their bureaucratic cracker bullshit, Like, this is why I speak so much on education, educating yourself. I'm not telling you, oh, you need to go back to school and shit like that. I'm personally not interested in, like, I didn't like school. I didn't like school, bro. You know, I liked learning. I just didn't like school. And I'm not anti-school, but I'm definitely pro self-education, whether you're going to an institution or not. And it's for reasons like all of the things that are happening right now. The fact that there's so much going on right now. People have never been, well, I won't say never, but it's been a long time since our people have had cause to be as aware of social, political events and occurrences. Cats have been, like I've said before, it's been party time. The 80s, a lot of the 80s, for a lot of cats, because they were just coming out, just getting outside, was party time. I had political awareness because of, as it might be a surprise to people, the underworld and politics are inextricable from one another. So as a kid growing up in an organized crime family, you are constantly in the presence of conversations about what is happening on the political level, and mostly on not like so much local government, but federal government, because whoever's in that office has a significant impact on the narco economy. Like, Reagan let it come in. Bush let it come in. Clinton let it come in. Nixon fucked with it. You know what I mean? He had a different agenda. He was given a different script. He was given a different directive and different focus or whatever, I guess. But you know, to be alive right now, and if you're anywhere between 20s, early 20s, and your 60s, man, you gotta know what's happening. And there's a lot of information. It's not like it was in the past where you had to go and really seek the information. Like, if you wanted to know what was happening at a rally somewhere, or in a public forum somewhere, or in Congress or whatever, like, you had to tune into those stations and those newspapers, that particular media, the media was particular to those subjects. Now, man, you can't really scroll without it popping up. You can't really scroll without it coming on your screen. So accessing the events is not nearly as challenging as it had been in the past. Or not, I'd say, I can't say challenging because that would imply that people were trying and meeting resistance. It wasn't as obscure, like it's not as obscure as it once was. It is in your face. And I know that cats are just like scroll away or whatever, but you can scroll away all you want. It's it's here. It's in your face. And where we are now, this is a pivotal point. There are changes that are happening now that whether you pay attention or not, you're going to be impacted by it. Not looking is not going to save you. Not looking is not going to spare you the negative impact. I think, and it's obvious that people who don't have much, it's neither here nor there to them. They don't have much. They don't own anything. They don't have any prospects. So it really doesn't matter to them whether or not somebody is going to do or is doing or has done something that will lessen opportunity for them, because as far as they're concerned, they don't have any opportunities anyway. But that's not as much the case as people think it is or like to act like it is. It's not that there are no opportunities. It's that people are operating today. And I'm talking about young people. You got young people, people who have only been around for 20, 22 years. And they're operating today like they're looking through the lens of their parents and their parents' experiences and their parents' expectations based on those experiences. What I mean by that is expecting for there to be menial laborist jobs. That was a reasonable expectation for people who were born in the 50s or the 60s, even the 70s. When I say menial laborist jobs, I mean restaurant work, driving cabs, working in certain types of manufacturing. But since the people who were born in those decades, since they had come of age, since we have come of age, the world has changed. If our children have inherited our perspectives based upon our experiences, then they are missing what has happened in the time since we came up into our adulthood and so forth. Those kinds of jobs, those kinds of opportunities are being automated out. Those things kind of used to be the blood of this country, working class people, driving buses and working in factories, driving trucks, working in supermarkets and all that kind of stuff. Those kinds of jobs, they were like the white blood cells of this country. But the advancements of technology, like as subtle as it may have been, and I mean subtle to most people because they're not being smacked in the head with it, but it's happening right in front of them. It's happening in increments, like I've said so many times about change. Change happens constantly, but when people don't pay particular attention to it, like if you didn't look at your face, if you took a week, 2 weeks, and did not look in the mirror for 2 weeks at all, nothing reflective, don't look at your face for 2 weeks.
It'd be all type of boogers in your eye, it'd be stuff in your beard. It'd
Like,
be crazy.
bro, you would look at yourself and be like, oh shit, I ain't even, and it'd be some shit that was there. But as it came, you were seeing it every day. So each time you looked, your mind adapted that change. And that became your new norm. So, as you get older, as a for instance, you start to develop lines or maybe divots or something, you know, just imperfections because you're exposed to the environment and all that kind of stuff. And if you were to not look at yourself for a month and then look at yourself, whatever little incremental changes had occurred in that period of time, you would notice them instantly because you were not adapting or updating your facial features or the changes in your face day to day to day. So you wouldn't have an update. So it'd be one condition one day, and then the next time you looked, it would be maybe not that great a difference, but a difference. And because you hadn't been keeping pace with the gradual change, you would notice it. I was like, oh shit, I didn't even know where the fuck did that come from? You know? So that's what it's been like in terms of the changes that have been occurring as the technology has been advancing and changing what opportunity is today as opposed to what it was 25 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. The lack of
Because 25
exposure.
years ago is only 2001. That's crazy.
That's right. That's right. But in 2001, what we're doing right now wasn't possible. What we're doing right now with the devices that we have in front of us right now wasn't possible. The internet wasn't what it is. People's ability to access it. Remember, I said my first laptop was $3,800. Like, people didn't have access nor practical reason. If it wasn't for me doing the magazine thing, I wouldn't have had a reason to go and spend $4,000 for a laptop. And I didn't really spend $4,000 for the laptop. I was doing something that was enabling me to get things without actually paying for them, but that might be another story for another day. I never told y'all about that. Y'all did know I retired from the narcotics game, but you don't know what I did after I retired from the narcotics game because I never spoke on it. And I stopped selling drugs in '97. I didn't stop doing crime. I just got away from something that I felt would more than likely result in me losing a tremendous amount of my time in the free world. So I shifted to something else. I evolved. I advanced with the technology. Technology had changed in such a way that I was able to access resources that I would have been able to access maybe 10 years before. Well, people were, but it would have been significantly more expensive. You know, somebody did try to put me onto it like 5 years earlier, but I was like, I don't do that type of shit. That's some funny style niggas. They do that type of shit. You know what I mean? That's what we used to think that only the sus niggas did. You know, did the white collar shit. Sus niggas and whiteys did the white collar shit. You know, I'm a nigga. I sell narcotics, nigga. You know what I mean? It's that type of mindset. Nigga showed me a stack of credit cards like that and said, "Yo, we made these." I was like, "Yeah, all right." Because I think you got to have I thought at the time you had to have a computer the size of a building to make credit cards. That's what I thought. Now, ask me why I thought that. Based on what? Based on what? Like, I didn't research it. It was just an idea that just was implanted in my mind from nowhere. Just imagining things. This is what we do. This is why we get in our own way in terms of learning, because we think we know shit that we don't know. And if you think you already know it, you ain't listening because you think you already fucking know. You know, that's what makes us unteachable. So in terms of the technology that has been changing gradually over these last 30, 40 years, like just in the last 20 something years, this is a particular experience that I had that kind of put this into context for me. This was after All-Star Weekend in Atlanta, right? It was '03.
Yeah.
And crazy big weekend, right? We down there, we doing our thing. We had a ball, right? That's when me and 50 first. first connected. Like this is after, you know, like we had already connected, but this is when we were really building.
Yeah.
And so I meet, just like you were saying earlier, you connect with people, go to these events, you connect with people, and then you follow up on that business. So I met these brothers out of Ohio. Their whole family had been caught up in this narcotic shit, right? Their whole family had been caught up in this drug thing, but they were getting it for a minute. One of the guys' name was Tree, right? Little light skinned dude, and he rapped. And his older brother, I got a picture of me and his older brother. I got on like the iceberg sweater with my waist length mink coat and some Jabot jeans and some fresh wheat Timbs. Dope picture we took down in Cincinnati. So I had met them All-Star Weekend. They came to Atlanta and they was like, yo, we want to get the magazine. We want to do a whole campaign. So, you know, why don't you come to Ohio? Come, you know, kick it with us, whatever. All right, cool. So when the weekend was over, I got on the plane. I sent y'all back up top with the van. No, I took y'all back up top and I parked the van in the airport. I remember I came back and I was like, damn, man, $200 for, because I got stuck out there because of the snowstorm. That's how I ended up missing Swiss and Lashonda's wedding.
Yeah.
Because I'm the one that talked them into getting married, and I didn't make the wedding because I got caught in the snowstorm out there. So I'm out there with these dudes, right? And these dudes had done it real big out there prior to getting busted. It was like the brothers, the the their sisters, boyfriends or husbands, their uh their father, their aren't like multiple members in their family. And these motherfuckers one of them had 18 years old, had 90 acres, another one had 60 acres. Like these motherfuckers was getting it, right? They'll have beautiful homes. And then, you know, somebody went bad, none of them, and they got busted. The whole family. Only one that didn't go to jail was like the mama and like one of the sisters or something like that. It's been a long time, but this I remember it was like 23 years, right? And they all went to jail. Nobody told. They all did 10 years, came home to all their shit.
Mm.
Right? So now they, you know, they had a clothing store, record store, and they wanted to do the music thing. So I did a campaign for them and all that. And when I went out there, you know, I got to figure out how to eat, right? The vegan thing. So I get out there and they take me to the supermarket. So this will put in perspective how how long ago this was in terms of changes and so forth. I walk into the supermarket. It was like a Kroger or something like that. Something similar, not a Kroger, something similar.
Myers.
In Cleveland? I mean, was it
Yeah.
Cleveland? They Cleveland?
Myers.
Cleveland? No, where's that part of Ohio that Cam and them used to be in? And they were in,
Dayton. Dayton.
I think it was the, I think it was the, I think it was the. So when we go into the supermarket, I see those self-checkout things. They're new. And I see these young melanated sisters working the registers. So I go to the register because I understand that that is designed to replace them. So I'm going to go and support them. I'm going to use them, you know, because that's how you vote. You vote with your dollars, black people. And I hate the term black people because black is not a people, and the implications of it are black means no color. That's the real meaning of it. Like it's a whole other thing. But I go and I sit there and I go to the girl behind the counter, behind the register, and you know I give her, you know, I put my stuff up there, whatever, and then I say, man, those automated checkouts, man, those self checkouts, man, that's some fucked up shit, you know. or something to that effect. Something anti that technological change or advancement. And this girl must have been about 22, maybe 21. She go, what's your problem? And then she start like beeping. I'm just looking at her like, are you fucking retarded? Like, you're arguing with me about supporting you being able to continue to be employed by supporting the interaction with you as a human as opposed to dealing with the checkout. But you're actually making the argument to support the self-checkout thing and eliminating, I'm not going to say nothing ugly, but eliminating you in this mindset you have. Like, you don't, this is the kind of person that votes for somebody who's going to create the kind of changes in the world that will make them living impossible. This is the kind of person. Because this person is so mentally incompetent, because this person doesn't have any educational practices, no cognizant practices, no critical thinking practices. You know? And I'm like, are you arguing for the thing that's going to replace you? I said that to her. I mean, I like, it was obvious, like, you're like really ignorant, right? But I gotta say this to you. I gotta at least plant this seed, and maybe in a year from now, when you no longer have a job, and it's, instead of there being 10 registers and 2 of those checkout lanes, there's 2 registers and 10 of those self-checkout lanes, then you'll go, oh, this is what he was talking about, trying to make me think about. Like, what the fuck? But this kind of deficit in their intellectual processes is what is screwing these young people making their way into the world up now, and the not so young people who have not kept pace with the changes, who are unemployable because they have not kept pace with what employers need as they implement new technologies and new practices with their businesses. And this all comes down to education, to self-education, and keeping pace with what's going on. Like, really keeping pace. And I'm not talking about watching the news and them feeding you whatever line of propaganda or manipulation that they want to. I'm talking about you deliberately and specifically targeting bits of information that will give you the insights you need in order for you to remain competitive and competent and useful in the society that is evolving all around you. But if you are looking as a young person through the lens of the people who raised you, who came up in a different time, and you're expecting that you will be able to go and get yourself a nice job in a factory somewhere, and get in a union, and get a some type of insurance, and retirement. Like, you're not looking through updated eyes. You're not. You're not looking through updated eyes. And you just got here. 22, 23, 25, 26 years old. You just got here. And this is not the world that people my age grew up in. This is not that world. This is the reason why, and I haven't spoken about this in a minute, this is the reason why that projection about the median household income for melanated people by 2053 being zero. Zero. This is the reason. Because you're not keeping pace with the technological advances and changes that are happening, which would make you competent and employable or even able to create your own businesses based upon what the needs of today are and the needs of tomorrow will be. Because you think that you can do like your parents did 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. Just find you a little job, and dig in, and you're going to be here for the next however long people work jobs for 40 years. My mother-in-law worked at one job, her first job. She worked in the hospital. She did billing, the Presbyterian, for 40 years and retired. Never had no other job. 40 years. You can't do that no more. You'll know that, right? Don't let your people tell you that you can do that anymore. You can't do that no more. And I know a lot of y'all are being encouraged to do that. Y'all are being encouraged. Just go on and get your high school diploma and go on and get you a good, get in the union and get you a good job, whatever. Come and work at my job, whatever. And they're not hiring, and your high school diploma ain't gonna get it because they're automating. They're implementing technologies that require you know how to operate certain types of technology that your high school diploma is not providing with the information to do. Motherfucker can't even operate a forklift no more. Firstly, the forklift don't need you. It don't need you. It's automated. It's operated by AI, and it don't need pee breaks, lunch breaks. It doesn't care about a union. It doesn't need Medicaid. It doesn't need unemployment. If you fire it, it won't need a workers' comp. None of that. Understand, and this is another thing. Without education, without information, I won't refer to it as education at all the time. I can't abandon the concept of education, but I won't refer to it as education all the time. I'll alternate to the information, and you can get information. I mean, I read about 10, 15, 20 articles a day of all kinds of shit, all kinds of things. And by way of doing that, I become apprised of not only new terms and new words, new phrases, but I keep abreast of what's happening in a bunch of different areas of our society. It's not so that I can know everything that's going on with everybody everywhere. It's so that I can, one, keep my brain in the gym so my shit don't go flabby. Like what happens every time I stop working out. I mean, this is flabby, but this is flabby for me because I've been training my body so long. Your brain is a muscle. It needs to be trained. And if you stop training it, that bitch will go soft on you, son. And it's shit that you used to know. Not only will you not be able to wrap your mind around new shit, you won't be able to really grasp the shit that you already knew. I gotta address, the 3 people that are watching me here on live.
Hey,
Shout out to those 3 people. I fucks with you. We're gonna keep doing this. You dig? Like, I ain't gonna stop. I'm gonna fuck what you knucklehead motherfuckers is on, how distracted and backward you are. I'm not gonna stop. That's the reason why I stayed alive, healthy, free, and fucking functional. Because I didn't give a fuck what other people were doing. I recognized what I needed to do. And I did that. And I'm trying to encourage that in all of you. Just like I've encouraged it in my children. You better keep up. You better keep your shit. You better catch up. You better catch up, man. For real, for real. I challenge you, whoever you are. I challenge you. When you wake up tomorrow, write the time you woke up. Get yourself a little piece of paper. Get yourself a pen and shit. Right. I woke up at 7 something, whatever. This ain't and I did this. And just do that all day. Just do it all day. Just that one day. And then look at like what you do with your time. Like, You look at that from the time you get up to the time you go to sleep. And I'm talking about being meticulous, write everything. I did this from here, from this time to this time, from 7:45 to 7:59, I did this. And from, that time to this time, I did this. And I drove from this time to this time. And I got on Instagram at this time, and I got off at this time, and went to Facebook, and then got on my video game, and then called a bunch of girls trying to see who was going to have sex with me, because, that is something that is really important to me. And yeah, and then multiply that. Like, say, okay, this is what I did with one of my days. So unless I do something drastically different tomorrow, I can assume this is what I do with, my Mondays through my Fridays. And if that's the case, then I probably do that from the 1st to the 31st, or as it were, the 28th. And see what you're doing with your time. And then ask yourself, if I continue to do this with my time for the next 5 years, will I be anywhere near the condition of the life that I say when I'm smoking on that blunt and swinging on that liquor and standing on the corner or standing on the block or sitting on the couch, I say I want. Yeah, nigga, because I want, you know what I'm saying? I want to do, and I'm on this shit, and like, yeah. Ask yourself if the things you're saying that you want and you want to have, and you want to do, and you want to experience, and the places you want to go and all of that, this is only for the people who actually want shit. I know not everybody wants something. I know that. I know some of you motherfuckers is like, I don't want nothing. Okay, cool. Cool. Go hold your breath and lay on the highway or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, hold your breath, and between holding your breath and the traffic, you'll work it out.
They got to run across like on Bowfinger.
Oh, or like Frogger, like back in the day, like Frogger. Go play Frogger.
But again, we wasn't rolling.
Niggas don't know about both things. Niggas don't know about both things. Yeah. But it's imperative, man. It is abundantly important that you start paying attention to some fucking thing. And I would say paying attention to what you're doing with your time is probably the first thing you should really focus on. Because a lot of us aren't doing what we think we're doing. That's a big thing. Like, you ain't doing what you think you're doing. You think you're doing some shit, but firstly, you probably don't know how to do the shit that you think you're doing. But because you don't know, you don't know you don't know. So you think you do. This is recorded, so you can play that back as much as you need to. It's I know a lot of people, it's apparent a lot of people just don't really want to be here. And it's got a lot to do with the fact that they don't have any prospects or any focus. If you had something to look forward to, then you would be more motivated to want to be here. So you should work on that. If you understood how unlikely it was that you would be here, you'd have more appreciation for the fact you are here. I'm talking about the whole process. There's a very good chance that the father that made you could have got knocked off before he got a chance to do that. There's a good chance that once he met your mother and copulated with her, there's a good chance that you wouldn't have been the sperm that made it to the egg. A very good chance. It's very, very, very good chance. It's millions, and you were the one that made it. The rest of those motherfuckers didn't make it. They got flushed out or swallowed. Or dropped off in the anus. Like, hey, wait a minute. The fuck? Where am I? You know what I mean? Like, then there's the whole gestation period, the whole 9 months you got to be in there. That's not guaranteed you're gonna make it through that process. That ain't guaranteed. There's a lot of things against the probability of you making it into this world. The creation of life is it's an amazing process. And the fact that there and have been for a very long time making people in laboratories, like you've all heard of, artificial insemination, test tube babies, all that kind of shit. Like, obviously they can, they can make a person now, right? And that's been the case since I was a kid. But, you know, for those of you motherfuckers that are not test tube babies, um, all the stuff that went into the making of you, so that's a big fucking deal, man. That's a big deal. But what you gonna do with it, though? You just gonna smoke 10 blunts a day, drink a fifth, play video games for 7 to 8 hours, and try to trick some girl into thinking you're worthy of having sex with, because you you fresh some fucking how. Like, this really? I mean, think about it now. Think about it. Is that what it is? Is that what it's about? Is that what we doing?
A lot of us goddamn this shit on both sides. The chicks are sitting around on Instagram watching baddies all day, and then they calling a nigga to feed them, and then they calling a nigga to come through and knock them off. Then they going to sleep and waking up and doing it again.
Well,
Like,
talking to them too. Talking to them too, man.
no, I'm not just
Talking.
saying that. I'm just saying like motherfuckers is stuck. Like it's two sides of the same coin that love being the nickel.
Yeah, yeah. I can dig it. I can definitely dig it. And I mean, all I can offer is don't be that. Somebody gonna be it, but don't you be it. Whoever you are, don't you be it. Let somebody else be it. I mean, you've seen the outcomes. It ain't good. It's not good. It's nothing you want. And man, woe is you if you fuck around and don't die young. Ooh, if you don't die young, oh my, you fuck around and blow 40 years. Not it ain't gonna just be that you don't have anything or anyone, but we just hit the hour mark. So we count down. It's not going to be that you don't have anything or anyone. You're also 9 times out of 10, if you're making kinds of decisions that are having that degree of a negative impact on your life where you don't have anything and you don't have anyone, you're probably not making very good decisions as it relates to your health either. So you're going to be unhealthy, diabetes, hypertension, high blood pressure, kidney malfunction. Uh, you done drank so much liquor, you caused brain damage. You smoke so many blunts. Society is evolving by way of technology. You can develop emphysema, lung cancer, throat cancer. So you're sick, you're old, you're broke, you're lonely, and you're too scared to kill yourself, but you ain't got a life worth living.
Do the dick still work?
Not very well. I mean, you start having circulatory problems. If you're eating like shit, you eating McDonald's, you eating fast food or whatever, that shit will fuck your circulation up. Like the number one cause of deaths is not car accidents, plane accidents, shootings, violence. The number one cause of death is cholesterol. It's the number one cause of people dying. That's what causes heart attacks and aneurysms and strokes. And those are the number one killers.
So how often is this sometime of the dick not working? Because it still don't
More,
sound bad to most motherfuckers. They
more,
like to do it.
you really, for real? God damn. What you gotta say to these niggas? Like, what the
Say
fuck?
your dick don't work. You say that dick don't work, nigga. Hey, a nigga change this nigga convert to Islam, Buddha, all that shit. Nigga.
Yeah, yeah. Because these are very base concerns, very base. You know, like it's like the simplest, most basic concerns. And I guess if you haven't had the encouragement to think beyond a sensation, security, and control, then what else is there?
Hey man,
Right?
the old dudes be at the pharmacy. They be like, "Sir, your blood pressure medicine is $200. Your Viagra is 30." He be like, "Shit, let me get the Viagra. I'll be alright."
Yeah. Oh, that's the perfect thing to do. Because Viagra, it redirects blood flow away from your brain and other extremities. Niggas, you have a hard dick and you can't feel your fingers or your feet and you can't see. And you're not quite sure where you are. In fact, you don't even know what the fuck this is. What is this? I don't know what that is. What do I do with it?
Hey, put it in for me, goddamn.
Goddamn. Put it for me, goddamn.
Put it in for me.
But it's it's tragic,
Yeah.
and you think shit's fucked up now. If you figure by 2053 there'd be like zero median household income for melanated people, you know how bad it's going to be by 2033? And 2033 ain't but what, 7 years away? You know how bad it's going to be? If it's going to be zero by 2053, shit, by 2033, it's going to be definitely well below the poverty line, well below what it needs to be in order for a person to be able to sustain their existence. And I'm talking about sustain your existence. I'm not talking about live a life. I'm talking about to sustain your existence, just to keep you from starving to death or freezing to death like that poor sister did outside of that hospital in Chicago, I believe it was, about 3 weeks ago. 40 something years old, and froze to death outside of a hospital. It's going to be a lot more of that. Nobody ever says, when I grow up, I'm going to be homeless and destitute. Nobody ever said that. So how do so many people end up homeless and destitute? If it's nobody's plan, no one's plan. No one says, when I grow up, I'll be fucked up in a cardboard box. Nobody says that. But more and more people are in those situations. This is an old saying: if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. I don't know if people understand that old sayings are old because they never not true. That's why they're old. That's why they don't go away, because there's constant reinforcement by reality of the validity of those sayings. Like, yeah, if you fail to plan, then by virtue of failing to plan, you must plan on failing. That must be the plan. The plan must be to fucking fail. So get your mind right. Get your mind right. That's it, son. We give him an hour and 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And y'all make sure y'all catch us, man, on iHeart Radio at Blazing 420 WPAM, and on YouTube at Comedian Ty Mills and Cavario the Mind Plug. And make sure that when you go to our YouTubes that you hit subscribe. Make sure that you hit the notification button so you know when we're doing this and when we post new videos. And if you're not following us on Instagram, my Instagram is Cavario _the_ mind _plug. And my son's is multiples. You got
Comedian
they,
Top Mills _
okay, comedian Tom Mills _ and also they hate Mills.
Yeah.
All right. And yes, that's pretty much it, man. That's pretty much it. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate the people who joined me on live here. Next time you'll be watching us both. You just got to get another device.
I
Yeah,
got you.
just get another phone. Just put that, just put another phone to it. But I would really say like get a laptop and get like a $200 laptop or something like that. A $50 laptop, some small portable like that. And yeah, son, I love you
Love you too, Pop.
indeed. And for the rest of you, you know what I always say: think critically so that you may live wonderfully. Peace. Mind plug out.
Woo forever, man.
Wu Tang forever. Power, sleeping power.